Welcome to another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday, where I'm going to break down and explain a wholesaling or house flipping concept, definition, technique, tip, or strategy to help you become a better investor. And on today's video, we're going to discuss what do real estate wholesalers do coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Data Cruncher software, which finds cheap houses in your area. Get it now at mydatacruncher.com.
If you're new here to the channel, I'm Jerry Norton with flippingmastery.com, and this channel is all about ways to help you make money wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. And be sure to stay to the end of this video because I'm going to share additional videos to help you understand and go even deeper on this topic, as well as resources to help you take action and implement what you've learned. So let's talk about what do real estate wholesalers do. And what I want to do is I want to read a comment that I received today that said, what's stopping cash investors from just purchasing the property themselves instead of going through a wholesaler being the middleman? Great question. Now think about this. Why would a cash buyer, why would they work with a wholesaler and not just go buy the deals themselves? That's the question, right? Well, first of all, let's talk about who are our cash buyers. Who are the ideal cash buyers? There are really two. One is a buy and hold investor. Buy and hold investor. And what is a buy and hold investor? They basically do this. They buy, fix, and rent. Hold it and rent it. That's a buy and hold investor, right? They buy, fix, rent. That's their model. Now, the second one, this is the first one. The second one is actually a fix and flipper. So fix and flipper. And what does a fix and flipper do? Well, they buy, fix, and flip for a profit. So they don't hold it, they flip it to a retail buyer. Now, with both of these situations, whether it's a buy and hold investor, and the ideal buy and hold investor is in your lower income markets. So typically, if you're getting in the 100,000 and lower type of value neighborhoods, your ideal buyer as a wholesaler is going to be a buy and hold investor. Why? Because those properties cash flow more. The lower the income, the lower the values of real estate, the higher the tendency of having buy and hold investors. This is where I started. I started in Detroit, really low end. When I say low end, take low end and then go to the lowest of the low end. That's where I started in my real estate business. I'm talking $5,000 houses in Detroit that I would wholesale to slumlords. Okay, started at the bottom of the bottom and then have worked my way up since in past 16 years. But those investors, they would buy those properties. They would do very little fix up, right? Because it's a rental property. And then they would turn around and rent those properties out. Once you start getting into nicer neighborhoods, you have less buy and hold investors, still some, but you have less buy and hold investors and you have more fix and flippers. Now, these investors are buying the properties, fixing them up, whatever level of repairs that they need, and then they're flipping them to a retail buyer and making a spread on their profit, right? So these are the two different types of buyers that we have in the marketplace if you're a wholesaler. Or if you're not a wholesaler, these are just the types of investors that do residential real estate, generally speaking. Okay, now here's the thing to understand. And when you grasp this concept, wholesaling makes a ton of sense. These guys and girls, these investors, the worst part of their business model is right here. The worst part. They hate that part. They hate it with a passion. A buy and hold investor can't stand the process of having to go source and acquire new deals. That's a lot of work. Everybody knows that. Same with a fix and flipper. They hate the process of acquisitions. They just want to do their thing. They want to fix them up and they want to flip them. That's what they love to do. That's what they're good at doing. Buy and hold investors, they just want to get these properties and rent them out. And they want to get another one and another one and another one. Fix and flippers are always looking for their next deal. But they both understand that the process of acquisitions, buying those good deals, is a lot of work. And a lot of them don't want to put in the necessary work, the time, energy, and effort it takes to source and find good deals. They realize that you got to talk to a ton of sellers. You got to make a lot of offers. You got to be out there every day pounding the pavement to get these good deals. They would much prefer to skip that whole process of acquisitions, not put money into marketing for leads, not be making hundreds of offers, right? Not be talking to sellers and meeting sellers and going through all of that process. They would rather just somebody hand them in their lap a great deal that fits their criteria in their neighborhood that they can just step in, buy that property, and then do their thing. Fix it and rent it, or fix it and flip it. When you understand that concept, then you really start to see the value of what a wholesaler does. That is what a wholesaler does. A wholesaler takes on the entire acquisitions process, and they take that out of the hands of the buy and hold and the fix and flipper. They're basically saying, hey, don't worry about that. I'll put the time, energy, and effort. I'll spend marketing dollars. I'll go talk to 25, 50, 100 sellers to get one deal. I'll do all of that. And I'll get that contract, and I'll bring that on a silver platter, and I'll hand it to you in your lap, and you just get to step in and do your thing. And as long as the deal is in formula, as long as the number you bring that deal to the buy and hold or the fix and flipper, if the number that they can pick up that deal and buy it at is in their formula, in their criteria where it allows them to make cash flow or make profit on the flip, they will buy those properties. So the genius is in the spread between what they'll pay and what you get a contract with the seller. That difference is your profit as a wholesaler. So for example, if this buy and hold investor, if the number for them to do well on that deal and fit their formula and be a good cash flowing property is to acquire it for $50,000, maybe they're going to go put $5,000 into it or $10,000 into it. They're all in for $60. They rent the thing out for $750 a month. They cash flow, they're happy. If that number for $50,000 for them works, then that's what matters to them. They didn't have to go spend marketing dollars. They didn't have to pound the pavement. They didn't have to find that deal. You brought it to them at their number. They will pay you for it. Now, here's the cool thing. What if you have the contract for $30,000 with the seller? Then you make $20,000 on that deal. Why? Because you did the work to get that amazing deal, and it doesn't matter your spread. What matters is the number the investor will pay for it. The difference is your profit. If you got it for $45,000, you have a $5,000 deal. If you got it for $40,000, you have a $10,000 deal. Whatever a cash buyer will pay, the difference between that number and your contract with the seller is your profit. You get good at it and you do this multiple times a month, then you can make a high six, even 7-figure income as a wholesaler. Doing what? Solving the number one problem for buy and hold investors and fix and flippers, which is acquisitions. That's their biggest problem, getting another deal. Why don't they go find the deal themselves? Because they realize how much work it is to go find good deals. Maybe they're trying still. That doesn't mean that they still won't be interested in looking at your deal so long as it fits their criteria. Now, I play both sides because I love wholesaling and I love fixing and flipping. I like to do both. I like to cherry pick the very best deals to fix and flip that I call home run deals, and the singles, doubles, and triples, I wholesale. I don't want to take on all of the time, energy, and effort to raise capital, manage your rehab, wait to get paid till I find a buyer. I don't want to do all of that work unless it's a high profit deal. So I play both sides. I'm a buyer for good deals that I'll fix and flip, and I'm also a wholesaler where I'll wholesale. What's so great about being both is I understand the mindset and the psychology behind what goes into both. Okay, it's so important that you understand that. The better you understand your buyer, buy and hold or fix and flipper, what their wants are, what their needs are, what their formula is, what their neighborhoods are, what types of deals they like, what types of deals they don't like, the better you understand your end buyer, the better you'll be able to bring them deals that fit their criteria and allow you to have a spread on the difference. That is the value in being a wholesaler. Now, what's so amazing about it is if you do it right and you do assignments, then you have no money out of pocket in the deals. You don't own it, you don't manage it, there's no risk for you. You pass that risk on and the upside to your end buyer, right? The buy and hold or the fix and flipper. Let them take on the risk, let them own the property, and let them get the upside, cash flow or profit on a flip. You take a sliver of that out for you, for finding that amazing deal, and you move on to the next deal. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Amazing business. I don't know anything that can make as much money as wholesaling does, given the time, energy, and effort it takes. If you're willing to do the work, and you're willing to get out there and hustle, put some systems in place, then you can really crush it as a wholesaler. Okay, now we got a couple of resources for you. The first one is you really owe it to yourself to check out my deal management system. It's called FLIPSTER. It is the #1 wholesaling and house flipping system on the market. Everything from A to Z, finding, analyzing, offering, cash buyers, even fix and flip tools, the analyzers, contracts, everything to run your business in one place. It's amazing. You should check it out. Just go to getflipster.com to see it in action and learn more. Another great resource I want to share with you is recently I did a video where I break down my entire blueprint for how to scale your wholesaling business. And when I say scale, what I mean is how to do 3 deals, 5 deals, 10 deals a month or more on a consistent basis. Now, this means you got to get in front of a lot of sellers. So it's my entire marketing plan for how to get a lot of leads, work through those leads in a systematic way, get your offers out there and land those contracts. So a really important video if you're looking to really do this business in a big way. I'll put a link to that video in the description below. And hey, if you learned something on this video, do me a favor, hit that like button and share with me in the comments your biggest takeaway from this video. I hope that makes sense. I hope you're excited about wholesaling. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping. So be sure to do that as well. And I'll see you on the next video.